Hey folks, John here from Out 107. I just wanted to put together a quick little video about elevation gain and loss. We talked a little bit about this in class. There were some questions, and then looking at everyone's quizzes, it was definitely a sticking point on the quiz. So I wanted to put a video together to address some of those questions. If you still have questions after that video, feel free to shoot me an email. We can also talk about it in class on Thursday. So a few things to remember with gain and loss. It's a running elevation tally throughout the day. It takes into consideration all of the ups and all of the downs. It's a running tally of all the ups and a running tally of all the downs. On out and back hikes, such as the examples in the quiz, elevation gain and elevation loss, they should be the same. If you start at a trailhead, hike out on a trail, and come back that same trail and finish at that trailhead, your elevation gain and your elevation loss should be the same for that day. Here's an example. We're on an out and back hike. On the way out, I gain 1,000 feet and I lose 500 feet. On the way back, I gain those 500 feet that I went down and I lose the 1,000 feet that I went up. So the total elevation gain and loss for that hike is 1,500 feet up and 1,500 feet down. I'm going to go to CalTopo for another example as well. Bear with me for a second. All right, does this look familiar? We're on CalTopo here. This is on the Berthoud Pass quad, and we're going to look at that segment from Stanley Mountain down to Vasquez Pass and up to Vasquez Peak. This was two questions on the quiz. We looked at the distance between Stanley Mountain and Vasquez Peak on the Mount Nistrom Trail. We also looked at calculating the elevation gain and loss. So CalTopo is a pretty neat tool for this. I want everyone to know how to do this by hand, but you can use CalTopo to your advantage or to double check your work. So I'm going to add a line, and that line is going to start at Stanley Mountain and is going to go all the way to Vasquez Peak. Shift and click that line. So this is my trail, but it's also calculating my elevation gain and loss. So I start on Stanley Mountain and then I'm climbing down. So I'm descending to Vasquez Pass. That would be some loss. Then I climb back up from Vasquez Pass all the way to peak 12,707. Then it's flat for a bit. Lose a little bit of elevation here to another pass or saddle. I'm going to climb up to peak 12, pretty close to peak 12,900. And I'm going to swing around and then start my final descent to Vasquez Peak. So that is the route that's drawn in, and the elevation profile CalTopo feature will help me calculate the elevation gain and loss. So I'll click on the profile. The total distance is 2.15 miles one way. And so the question on the quiz was the out and back mileage. So we're looking at somewhere between 4 and 5 miles for correct answers. So the way that I measured it here, your out and back mileage would be 4.3 miles. And now let's look at elevation gain and loss. Right here it shows us on our way out we climbed 1,537 feet and we descended 1,224 feet. So on our way from Stanley Mountain to Vasquez Peak, we climbed approximately 1,500 feet and we descended approximately 1,200 feet. On the way back, I would then climb approximately 1,200 feet and descend approximately 1,500 feet. So to get your total elevation gain and loss, I'm going to bring up my calculator here. I would add, for my total elevation gain, I would add the 1,537 that I climbed on the way from Stanley Mountain to Vasquez Peak. And then I'm going to add the 1,224 feet that I climbed on the way from Vasquez Peak back to Stanley Mountain. So that's 2,761 feet. That would be my total elevation gain. And since it's an out and back hike along the same trail, my elevation loss would be the same. So for this example here, my total elevation gain would be 2,761 feet, and my total elevation loss would be 2,761 feet. So there's a way to use CalTopo to double check your work. I'll click on expand so you can see another neat tool about CalTopo. Here's our profile showing our elevation, gain, and loss. Great. I hope that helped, and feel free to hit me up if you have any other questions.